Greetings, religionists. This unit we're going to look at the idea of theodicy. And theodicy is a term we use in religious studies to refer to the means by which religions solve the problem of evil. So we can think of the Holocaust, for example, and then what kind of response do we give to such evil as that? And so when we look around, we can see in the Indian religions the idea of karma is a first theodicy. In this case, the punishment that occurred to the Jewish people, the gypsies, the gays and lesbians, all those people in the camps, was due to a past life misfortune. We can see it that way. Or we can also see karma in terms of just cause and effect, which is what the term literally means in Sanskrit. It doesn't mean good, but rather good, bad, and neutral karma. So we can see karma as having a transcendental aspect, as though there's some kind of energy out there that's causing bad things to happen to people. Or we can see it in the Buddhist sense of there is really no self, there is just a world of cause and effect, and in this case it was unfortunate to be Jewish or gypsies and the like. Some, though, don't care for the karma view. It seems unfair that starving people would be starving because of a past life, or even simply, if it's a just universe, that they're starving due to their own actions somehow. And so there's an alternative view. We can call it the consolation one gets from promise that God will send his angels and fix everything and punish the wicked in a beautiful end times. A kind of apocalyptic view, when literally in apocalyptic literature we're pulling the veil apart is what it means, to see reality as God sees it. So we can see the consolation of promise, this apocalyptic vision in Judaism with the return of the Messiah and the day of the Lord about which the prophet Amos spoke. We can see it in Christianity where Christ will return, and then surprisingly in Islam we'll see Christ return again, this time though in the service of Allah as yet many of his prophets. A third type of theodicy we can find most famously in the Zoroastrian tradition, where we're told that 7 good angels under Ahura Mazda, the god of light, are constantly battling Ahriman and his 7 angels, sources of matter and darkness. Positively a good versus evil picture there. Now technically the Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, in spite of this figure of Satan for the Christians or Iblis for Muslims, we do have nevertheless no dualism here, because God always wins in each of the 3 religions. So there is no doubt about balancing good and evil in constant warfare. We can see a fourth type of theodicy, if you will, in something called a sovereign view, the appeal to a sovereign God or a universe that is inexplicable. So this kind of theodicy says, really, there's no explanation for what happened in the Holocaust. This theodicy is often used in reference also to Job, where a good man suffered wrongdoing in his life, and even though the story has God challenging Satan to try to harm him into rejecting God, nevertheless, the real meaning of the story is that God is unfathomable, and there is no explanation for evil. And then we get down to theodicy, this last one, very popular in the United States, and that is the theodicy of free will. In other words, we can simply see that Hitler and friends are to blame for the Holocaust. They made choices, rational choices, I don't know, but they did have a free will option in there. And of course the karma proponent is going to wonder how it can be free if tied up with the rest of the universe. Because it's quite clear we're also living in circumstances not of our choosing. We speak English, not Chinese, for example, in this class mostly. And so in my humble opinion, I think we can apply all of them. Indeed, things do happen because of causes and effects and circumstances. Things do often look like warfare between good and evil. And then we can say also, there really is no answer for what happened in the Holocaust. And we can also finally rightly say that we all make free will choices in our lives, and that free will, as Jean-Paul Sartre said, is our doom. We have to make choices every second of our existence, like it or not. So that's the concept of theodicy. And now we'll want to apply these to specific cases in these religions we're studying.